Yeah, just another crappy, unclear video as I hold my camera because I have decided to install the Windows 10 preview evaluation copy. But I am installing it in VMware. I already went through the process of creating a virtual hard disk partition, and I'm just installing it. This is the same routine one would go through on a real machine, a real piece of hardware, while installing Windows 10 Preview Edition. And sorry, I can't get any clearer than this because I have to film with my video camera, which just loves to focus in and out as I do things. So we'll go through it anyway. I'm going to do a regular custom install Windows only. I'm going to choose this virtual unallocated space on drive 0. And I'm going to go ahead with that right now. And it's going through your regular Windows various startup procedures. Let me shut off the little lamp right here. I don't know if it'll make any difference. Probably not. And you're just not going to focus, are you? This camera hates focusing on the screen. But anyways, it is what it is. Let's see what we can do here. Well, I can move closer, for one thing. Let's move a lot closer. So as you can see, it's going through its regular install procedures, copying Windows files, getting ready for installation. It's only at 3%. It'll go through some other various routines here. Installing features, installing updates, finishing up, etc., etc. So, and again, I am just doing this on my desktop in a completely virtual environment using VMware. Now, to be fair, whatever you think of how this will eventually run and load and feel in use, keep in mind that my hardware that I am using is as the host machine for this is Windows 7 64-bit with a Core 2 dual Intel Core 2 dual E6750 CPU, a GeForce 250 GTS video card, and yeah, the rest of it's pretty much just virtual. I think I give it something like 40 gig partition to install on. And just looking forward to see how it works. I had previously played around with Windows 8 in the same type of VMware virtual environment and had no problem with that. I didn't mind it at all, actually. Now, there's a lot of different views on whether 8 was any good. It was, because it was simply 7 with a more efficient core. But of course, what ruined the experience for most people was that Metro UI. I believe they gave it a different name at some point, but regardless of what they called it later, we all knew it as Metro because it's what most people hated and were afraid of. But it was always my opinion even from the beginning that I understood Microsoft's need or want to get into the mobile market, and so a touch interface is where that market is going. But the problem was, and it's like that with anything. It doesn't matter if it's an operating system, it doesn't matter if it's YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Options are a good thing. Choice is a good thing. And everybody wants change and amazing new features and capabilities, but by God, don't throw it in their faces and show them something completely different to what they're used to, because if they actually have to take a few minutes to learn a different way to do something, well, then forget it. The whole plan goes out the window. People want what's familiar. People want to do the things that they've been doing all along without, resorting to having to learn how to do it all over again. And I can see that. I understand that side of it. The consumer side, the casual user, the person who just browses the internet, etc. But anyways, yeah, that was the shock and downfall of the Metro UI, the modern interface, I think they called it later. But yeah, they average guy who picks up his machine pre-built, ready to go, just wants to plug it in and go. He's got a desktop machine. He didn't, a lot of times he may not have a touch screen. Even his new laptop may not have a touch screen. So when that interface popped up right away, whether they installed it themselves or it came with Windows 8, it threw people off, and they just didn't want it. Again, there was a lot of third party. Quickly, a lot of third parties jumped on the option. Start menu is back is one of them, and there are several others that one could install as a third party option. But of course, that meant there were free options, and some damn good free options actually, which once you downloaded and installed those, it pretty much put you back in the same familiar GUI environment, having a start menu and bringing you right to the desktop, etc. But that doesn't work for the average consumer. It doesn't work for the guy who just turns on his machine and wants to go and wants to do what he's always done. That's the problem. And that is the majority of users, I dare say. So anyways, yeah, you have to appease the home user, the casual user, grandma, mom, and whoever. I mentioned this, a comment on in my Facebook group. Yeah, I think Microsoft has to work more on their presentation, and again, not being forceful with change. Meaning, yes, have the new features, have the new capabilities, have all the dazzling shit that you want there, but present it in a way that it's not jarring to that average user. Present it in a way where it's like, hey, here it is. If you want to use it, all you got to do is this, whatever. Click this icon, type this name, whatever, and here's this new feature that you can check out. As I summed it up in my own words, try to make Windows so it's as familiar as possible. It's what people are used to, but have all that extra stuff, have those extra capabilities there underlying, so they are available for those who want to get into that. For those, or as I put it, make it so that Windows can be as simple or as deep as you want to go, depending on the person, the individual. Once again, choice and options. When you have this, whatever you want to call it, Metro interface, new interface, tile interface, when you have this on a non-touch device and the average user is going to reach for their mouse and their keyboard, and they don't want to see this charms menu and have to learn how to navigate around all of that. They just want to get back to their familiar desktop where they're comfortable at, So that was the problem. And really now we look how quickly we have the Windows 10 preview. How amazingly quick we have it. I almost think that Windows 8 and 8.1 were, well, 8.1 was to fix a lot of people's complaints, but Windows 8 was like this experiment, this hybrid, this they wanted people's reaction, and I'm not so doubtful. I know a lot of people will say to the contrary, but I'm not so doubtful that Microsoft didn't know beforehand that the reaction might be really bad. but it's almost one of those things that's like, well, now we're going to give you something else, and you hated what we presented you originally so much that you're going to run to this new thing. I mean, think of Vista. Vista was quite a change over Windows. What was it? I guess it was XP then Vista, right? Vista was quite a change, and to be honest, again, I jumped on it because I do tend to want to check out the latest version. As a matter of fact, like my 5-year-old Toshiba laptop or whatever it was, I think it had come with Vista pre-installed. And that's not a power machine by any means. Here we have this restarting. But it ran, and I did things with it, and I never changed. I got to know the operating system. It didn't bother me so much, so. And I used it. And, you know, I too was one of those, oh my God, it's a resource hog. Look at all the memory and CPU time it's sucking up, and, you know, it's just running at a snail's pace. Like, what the heck is going on here? And, but you know what's funny? Like, I even went back and installed XP on it. Took a while to find all the proper drivers and all that stuff like that. Here we are, first boot of the preview edition. And but I got it running. And of course Windows XP ran great on it. But honestly, after a while, I was noticing that I was actually missing some of the features and the way Vista worked, even though it was a resource hog, and even though it was, hogging CPU cycles and all that stuff. But I was used to Vista and some of the features. I'm not saying I liked it better, but I was missing some aspects of it. So that's fine and dandy. You know, I went back and I just left it as was for a long time. And then, you know, Windows 7 appeared. And again, much like our Windows 10 technical preview, seemingly almost appearing out of nowhere to the relief of all these Windows 8 haters. You know, Windows 7 appeared. And Windows 7 was good, and the people loved it. Well, a lot of people loved it. I loved it. A lot of people I know loved it. And I've had Windows 7 on my desktop, 64-bit version, and Windows 7 on my laptop, 32-bit version, because I knew I'd never put more than 4 gigs of RAM in that. So there was no sense in having a 64-bit version, and my CPU on that was older. But I've been enjoying Windows 7 for a long time now on both machines. And personally, I wouldn't have an older system on any machine I'm using on a daily basis. And basically, I use my desktop and my laptop on a daily basis. And Windows 7 has been very satisfying. I've had no problems at all. Really enjoy it. I know it inside and out. So, you know, Windows 8 came out, and I, much like I'm doing now, I installed it in a virtual environment. And yeah, first thing, like, I researched beforehand, and I read a lot beforehand, and I heard of a lot of people's complaints beforehand. So I was kind of ready. I was prepared to be pissed at the Metro interface and all that stuff like that. But it's funny, you know, I saw these tiles, and I'm clicking them. Okay, whatever. It doesn't do much for me. But then, you know, I clicked the thing that said desktop, and behold, I'm on my desktop. And I know there's some problems apparently with Windows, with resizing apps and Windows and all that kind of stuff like that. But, you know, I didn't find too much of a problem. And then I tried some of the options. I don't know if it was Start Menu is back. I think it was another one of the free options to bring back the Start Menu. And, you know, it worked fine, no problem. Like, as soon as I would boot into this virtual Windows 8, I would either click and go directly to my desktop, or I would use one of these alternative third-party Start Menu restore utilities. And really didn't see much difference in general use myself. So I didn't really have any complaints. Now, that said, anyway, as you see here, it's getting ready for, I guess it's first boot. With that said, I wasn't about to buy Windows 8, and I wasn't going to, because, you know, my laptop is like 5 years old now. My desktop, you know, I gave you the specs earlier. I'm happy with its performance. I do want a newer machine, but I'm happy with Windows 7 64-bit on it. I'm not going to spend the money to buy Windows 8 just to replace Windows 7. Like, I'm not going to do that. If Microsoft would have said, you know, if they would have made some kind of deal where I could have gotten it for free, like complete full 64-bit version for free, then I probably would have installed that on my desktop. But I wasn't about to buy it. And same thing with Windows 10, even when it comes out. I'm not going to buy it for my current hardware. You know, if it comes, you know, if the next machine I buy, or even if I have to buy an operating system and Windows 10 is out, then most likely I will get it then. It'll either come with my machine. If it comes with the machine I buy, whether it be laptop or desktop, I will keep it on there. If I have to buy it to install an operating system, then I will get Windows 10, because basically Microsoft is giving all the complainers and whiners and bitching people who were going on and on about Windows 8, they're giving them what they want, again, as they did with Windows 7 over Vista. They heard the complaints and the whining and the bitching and the moaning, and it's pretty much the same core. I'm sure they'll continue to add more features and whatever as they come to the complete full retail version of Windows 10 in 2015, I'm told. But really, what have they done? You know what they've done? They've removed the tile interface, the Metro interface, whatever you want to call it, because that was the #1 complaint of most people. And I'm sure at its core and at its very root, it's still the same Windows 8 operating system, because Windows 8 was actually more efficient. It was actually optimized over Windows 7 at its core. Like, I've seen the stats, even games running, everything. It wasn't a dramatic increase by any means, but from what I've seen, heard, read, it was more efficient for running games and programs and so forth. So there, it's just rebooting itself now as it sets up the Windows 10 Preview Edition. So yeah, I had no problem using Windows 8 in that virtual environment. I enjoyed it. Again, I would have taken it if it were for free, but I wasn't about to buy it over Windows 7. I'm quite happy with Windows 7 on this older hardware. But who knows what the future holds? Either if I buy a new machine, or if I have to, if I build another one, Windows 10, if it's available at that time, will definitely be going on it. And as I was saying, now they've really, what is 10? 10 will be what 8 should have been out of the box, much like Windows 7 was much more what Vista should have been out of the box. So yeah, I think it's good, no problem. As you see, I've had no problem installing, at least so far, this 10 preview version. Oh, there we go. Let's focus. All right. So, okay. So getting online, setting things up. So, I didn't do anything. Okay, settings. I can go with Express settings or customize. Let's go with Express, because I believe you can always change those settings later on. Okay, I'll read this for those who can't read it. Settings, Express settings. We recommend these settings, which include occasionally sending info to Microsoft. You can customize these settings now or later. See, at least they allow you to customize it. I'll be turning that off later. Automatically find and connect to devices and content on this network. Automatically install Windows updates, app updates, and device software. Turn on Do Not Track in Internet Explorer. Help protect your PC from unsafe files, apps, and websites. And check online for solutions to problems. Help improve Microsoft software services and location services by sending us info. Use Bing. Use Bing. Oh, sorry, yeah. Use Bing to search suggestions and web results in Windows Search, and let Microsoft use your location and other info to personalize your experience. Yeah, I'll be changing that if I can. Bing. Bing. Nobody uses Bing. Give me a break. NIE, use page prediction to preload pages, which sends your browsing history to Microsoft, etc. Of course, I'll be installing Chrome and Firefox with those if I can. Let Windows and apps use your name, account picture, and advertising ID, and request your location from the Windows location platform, blah, blah, blah. That's okay, because they'll probably be faking all that information as much as possible in this. So we'll go with these user express settings. That's fine. Click that. Username, example, John. Password, re-enter password, and password hint. Okay, well, I'm just going to have you look away. Look away, everybody, as I enter this information. Oh yeah, here. You can look at my my messy desk in the meantime. There's a couple hard drives. You can't even see anything, can you? Damn it, there's Banjo Kazooie? No, what am I saying? Crash Bandicoot. Here, stare at him for a while. So anyway, I'm just going to enter my info right here. Some of you won't have too hard time of a guessing what I'm putting. Then password. Yeah, I use this weird password. Weird and long, as passwords should be. Password hint. God, I hate password hint. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's just say favorite color, shall we? Favorite color. Do you know what my favorite color is? I don't know. And I'm going to click finish, see if that works. Oh, it's finalizing my settings. That was weird. Under password hint, it's like type something in. I guess I should have put what my answer would have been, but I put more the question, favorite color. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Anyways, so it's finalizing the settings in this virtual environment. Hi. It says hi. We're setting things up for you. Well, that's nice. Thank you very much. We can get new apps from the store. Installing your apps. Well, isn't that special? Ooh, color cycling. You can get new apps from the store. Yeah, that's what I heard too, that basically it'll be like Windows 10. At least I'm hearing so far. It'll be Windows 10 on everything. Not meaning it'll be the exact same, but yeah, it'll be the full Windows experience, but not like Windows RT, which was limited only to store apps. It will be basically Windows RT and Windows 8 integrated into one OS. So you have the option of apps from the store, but of course you'll still have the option of running full Windows applications. And oh yeah, and let me go back to one thing that I meant to say, but I kept going off on a tangent as I'm babbling on and on here. That was one of the things that personally I had said from the beginning, going back to the point where I said, you know, people who came home and turned on the new machine with Windows 8 on it and were presented with that Tile Metro user interface on non-touch devices. That was just stupid. It was stupid. Because, you know, you got a mouse and keyboard in front of you, you're going to pick that up naturally, wanting to do things as you always did. And again, you know what, on a Windows tablet, on, you know, even on possibly on a laptop with a touch screen, that's fine. Okay, that's great. Basically, if the first time you turned on a machine with Windows 8 on it, if it was pre-installed, I don't know, because I remember from my Vista laptop, when I first brought it home, the Toshiba turned it on, it went into its own setup routine automatically. It was kind of weird. I had never owned a laptop before then. And basically, being a non-touch screen, it should have just defaulted to a Windows environment right away with an option, choice. Remember, I was saying that before, is always a good thing for consumers, to turn on the Metro interface, the touch tile interface, if you want it. And that was the problem. They didn't give people a choice. Not giving people a choice on non-touch screens is just stupid. But anyways, yeah, during setup, whether you're bringing home a new machine with Windows 8 on it, or if you were installing Windows 8 yourself on maybe older hardware, as soon as it recognized that it was not a touch screen, the default should have been your regular, everyday Windows environment, not the Metro interface. You know, if you were installing it on a touch screen or a tablet, well, of course, if you were installing it on a tablet, then yeah, it should have defaulted to the Metro UI. But if you were installing it on a PC, whether it had a touch screen or not, it should have asked you to input yes or no, a simple check. Would you like the Metro Touch interface? Yes. Or if you didn't have a touchscreen and didn't want it, just check no. And then as it installs, it sets it up accordingly. Would that have been so hard? I don't think so. I really don't. So anyways, so we're done here. I'm in Windows 10 in this preview mode. Just get rid of this stupid message here. So it says I have no it says I have no, can't get rid of that right now. It says I don't have a connection, even though I do, but it says I don't. But I'll work on all these little things. It's just things in the setting. But this is the interface. Let me click the Start menu. There, Start is back. Look, it just says my name, Rob D, and there it is. There's the new Start menu. Notice it's an expanded Start menu with that hybrid Metro interface. Looks like it's included. But I'll have to play around with it and see what I can get rid of, what I can't, you know, whatever. But for the most part, it looks pretty familiar. You know, everything at hand, my username, MaxRD, good to go. File Explorer, documents, pictures, videos, all that stuff. Games, there's no games, is there? I don't think. Pre-installed? I don't even know what's going on at this point. So, that'll be the App Store. But yeah, it doesn't think I'm connected right now. I'll have to configure all that stuff. Your PC is not connected to the internet. Okay. There's search, and there's my Start menu again. So, okay, no problem. I'll have to get the sound going and all these other features. Task Manager, I hear, is new. Let's see if we can look at that. At the very least, there's Task Manager. Okay, whatever. What if I Alt-Tab like I would in Windows 7? Oh yeah, see, it goes through. Same old Alt-Tab. Shift through things. Anyway, that's the installation. Me using VirtualBox, Oracle's VirtualBox. Some people are using VMware successfully. So cool. I'll have to configure a few more things, definitely get connected to the internet, see what these apps are all about. And that's about it. I know I'm probably in darkness here, so excuse me as I turn the light up. And there you have it. I'm too bright now. Oh my gosh. I'm not too bright. What are you talking about? So there you have it. Me babbling on a bit. My opinions, my thoughts of the whole Windows 8, 7 Vista deal. 10 checking out, not buying it when it comes out unless it comes pre-installed or I'm building new hardware. So, but the reason I do this, and I know